Hey everybody, welcome back to the Old Deer Hunters. Today I have a brand new scope from Pulsar. It's the Pulsar Thermion 2 LRF XG50. It's the brand new scope from Pulsar. Stay tuned to see what's new about this scope. Back a couple of years ago, Pulsar introduced the XG50. It was based on a BAE thermal core, and they tried to come up with a 3-power base magnification scope that was better for coyote hunters than the XP50, which has a base power of 2. That one didn't turn out exactly the way they wanted it, so now they have the new 2023 model. Now, the new 2023 XG50 has a laser range-finding feature, and it has a 640 by 480 12 micron processor. So what that means is that you can get a base power of 3 and still get a very, very good image. It has all the good features of the Thermion, which is the long run time of about 8 or 10 hours, battery life. It has the excellent controls features, and it also has the laser range-finding function on this model. Now, I don't think Pulsar has not released a model without the laser rangefinder in the XG family of the Thermion 2. So when you look at this, it may look a little funny, but it grows on you. This thing, it looks large, but it's really only about 2 ounces of added weight to the scope. So when you put it on and you get it mounted on your rifle, you really don't notice it. The only changes they had to make to the controls, since this laser rangefinder is up here where the focus adjustment usually is, they've changed the focus adjustment to knob on the side. It's on both sides, so good for left-handed, good for right-handed. And they moved the power button here. The reason they moved the power button up here is because this back button, where you normally use the power on and off a Thermion, is used to do range finding. So if you get Mr. Coyote out there and you don't know exactly how far he is, he may be 200 yards, he may be 300 yards, you just tap this little button here on the back, you tap it, and the shooting crosshair goes away, and you'll come up with another reticle, and it's a little box. You just center that coyote in the box, push the button, and you get the range instantly. And it appears in the top right hand corner. It lasts about 10 seconds, and then it goes back to your normal shooting crosshair. Now, you can't set this laser rangefinder where it's on continuous mode, but if you set the rangefinder on continuous mode for rangefinding, then you will not have a crosshair in the center of your main screen. It will bring up a picture in a picture with a smaller window at the top where your aiming reticle will be. So you can either tap it and get range each time, or you can just leave it running all the time and use the small window in the top to do your aiming. As with all Thermion scopes, you know, it's a 30mm tube. I'm using a Burris mount for this. I had it on my modern sporting rifle, but you can use any type of 30mm rings to mount it to whatever kind of rifle you use. It has a focus from about 25 yards out to infinity. It has an ocular focus back here for your eyes, so if you so you can set it no matter what your eyesight. And it has a lot of features inside. When you compare the images of the XP50 and this one, you'll notice right away that everything looks closer in here because you're using a 3x base power. So you're going to get the same quality image at 3x as you get with XP50 at 2x. And they've concentrated the energy of the scope onto the animal. This scope appears to have a more of a 3D effect. It may be because it's just magnified and it looks closer, but when you look at anything from 50 to 100 yards or so, I mean, you can see the hair, you can see the shape of the animal. It really gives you a very, very good image. And I was worried, frankly, I was worried about this XG50 having a good image quality, because I know they had problems in the past, but Everything about this scope is top notch. People that run blackout really like that energy to be focused on that animal, because with most scopes, all you see is just a black, it looks like it's just a flat black image. This one, it has the detail of the animal, and that's what makes it so good. I mean, you see the hair on the hogs, you see the shape of the coyote's ears and the body. I mean, and that's really, really good when you're trying to identify at long range. And this scope, is made for long range. It's made for coyote hunters. It's got the laser rangefinder to go out there and see how far away something is. It also has the higher magnification, so you can not only detect the animal, but also identify the animal. And we know for safety reasons how important that is. You've got to be able to distinguish between a coyote and, say, a farmer's dog or a small deer. And so you won't make any mistakes. We just cannot have mistakes in the field when we're handling a firearm. So now let's talk about this laser rangefinder. Using this laser rangefinder, it takes a little bit of getting used to and a little bit of practice. And I found that out the hard way. I took it out the first night I was out there, and I really haven't. I was waiting on some hogs in a feedlot. They normally show up around dark, and there were some cows out there, so I started practicing using the laser rangefinder. So if there were some cows out there, 150, 175 yards, and I swung the scope around there and I ranged that cow, and it gave me 295 yards. I said, wow, it didn't look that far. And then I ranged it again, and it says 165. I thought, what happened here? And when I went back and looked at the video, when you're using the reticle for the rangefinder, you have to make sure that that top of that box is not over the top of the animal, especially if it's standing on the hill. This cow was standing on a rise, and what I had done is I'd raised that, had most of the cow in the square, but some of it was over its back. And that section that was over his back was 300 yards away instead of 165. So be sure when you use this rangefinder that you don't accidentally, pull it up there and get the horizon or get the tree line in the background instead of just the animal. But most of the time, you're aiming sort of down to the ground, and you're just getting the ground around the animal that you're aiming at, and it reads well every time. So it's not a matter of the rangefinder not working properly, it's a matter of learning how to use the rangefinder. All in all, I think this is an excellent scope. If you're a coyote hunter and you like Pulsar, this is the one for you. You can range Mr. Coyote, and you can put the shot on him with that 3x base magnification. Overall, I think the new LRF XG50 is a real winner for Pulsar. We'll be coming to you with another review of one of the new thermal scopes in the near future, so if you subscribe, you won't miss that. Thank you very much.